Siddhapurush, the enlightened ones, and the nature. My salutations to all past souls. My Gurudev used to say that not even a single leaf of a tree is unworthy. Every tree, and for that matter, every single leaf of a tree, has some value. Whatever we consider as poisonous has also got some medicinal value. It is just that we are not aware of it. And a big tree offers support to many trees in its proximity. Nature has its own harmony, and all of these trees contribute in maintaining that harmony. And this harmony in nature has been maintained since ages. All this knowledge has been discussed in detail in Ayurveda. But just imagine, thousands of years ago, when there were no laboratories, how difficult it must have been to study in detail about a tree and identify its inner qualities and its worth. How they must have identified all this? During the earlier times, the sages and ascetics, while meditating, established a close connection with the tree and then were able to identify the innate qualities of the tree. My Gurudev also had this knowledge. Even he used to sit in meditation under a tree and used to establish a close connection with it and then identified its innate qualities. And he not only knew these qualities but also shared it with me. There were many such trees which initially focused on strengthening their roots and later stretched upwards. On other hand, there were other kinds of trees which initially grew vertically and later strengthened their roots. The roots of many trees were used as candles. In Himalayas, mostly purple and violet colored flowers are seen. In the foothills of Himalayas, there are dense and huge jungles which are covered with shrubs and bushes. It seems a deep connection has been established between the trees and the shrubs. There is a huge difference between a forest and a jungle. Forests are generally man made, and men plant such trees which are beneficial. Therefore, similar kind of trees are found in forests. But it is not so in jungle. Here the nature offers similar opportunity to all kinds of trees for growth. That is why there are many kinds of trees in jungle. There is a distinct consciousness of jungle. It has its own music. It has its own world. And one can learn all this by establishing a close connection with it. Every tree has its personal aura. You can experience this by going in its proximity. Just like when you start meditating regularly at a fixed spot in your home, then you would feel that a meditative energy has been established at that place. Even a dormant place appears active and lively. During the Gahan Dhyan Anushthan, while meditating under the Vatavriksha, many new experiences are coming. A close connection has been established with the Vatavriksha. An aura of the Vatavriksha has been established, and as one goes under it, automatically one goes in meditation. And this Vatavriksha serves as the launching point for entering into the Guru universe. This sacred tree helps in coming back into the body. Actually, The art of meditating by staying outside one's body is a process of leaving all the attachments related with the human body. For some time, there are no restrictions on the body, on the soul, and this soul is absolutely free. One can reach the subtle body from the physical body only as a soul. One could reach the physical body with the help of physical body but cannot reach the subtle body through the help of physical body. Thus, the process of meditating by leaving the physical body is an extremely significant state. Such a state is attained after meditating regularly for many years. After some time, all the attachments of the body diminishes because this state is attained when the ego of the body breaks. So, with the end of the ego, the attachment of the body also disappears. The ego of I in the body is the most strongest restriction, and this ego is not only of the body but is also of religion, color, gender, and nation. It is very difficult to stay inside the body once the dominance of the body vanishes. But the Guru order and the Guru Karya is the priority. The biggest fear in humans is of death, but in this meditation practice, even this fear vanishes. Actually, the fear of death is never of the soul, it is of the body. And when the dominance of the body ends, then this fear also ends. In actuality, the practice of meditating while leaving the body is a way of trial of leaving the body on a daily basis. With regular practice, just like we remove our clothes, similarly, in much lesser time, we may leave our body too, and the soul overpowers our body completely. In such a state, one needs to develop a connection with the body, and for that, certain attachments and certain commitments are made through which one can establish an association with body. This meditation, penance, neither can be taught by a guru to its disciple, nor can a disciple learn it from its guru. Whenever the soul of a disciple aligns with the soul of the guru, then this meditative state is automatically attained by the disciple. This world of inner knowledge is very huge. One cannot understand it in just one life. The more you probe into it, the more deeper it turns. And then one realizes how small is the outer world in front of it. And man realizes how puny or small is its existence in front of its universe. Today, in this proximity of Vatabhriksha, I felt that even trees have the innate quality of locking the consciousness within themselves. They safely keep the consciousness within themselves. They are like a good disciple. Many gurus, before leaving the body, hand over the knowledge to such trees because it is not possible to attain the state of moksha by keeping the knowledge with oneself. Rather, moksha is a free state and one has to free oneself from the inner knowledge as well. And as the tree grows, his inner knowledge also grows. I have come across two such kinds of trees in society. One such tree is in a Jain temple on the Nasik road. Once I was requested by a Jain sage to visit this Jain temple and the ashram and identify the most high consciousness place in that region. Therefore, I visited this place with few Jain disciples' families and investigated this huge area spreading across miles. This place is situated between Mumbai and Nasik and is on the left hand side of the road in the midst of jungle where there are no human settlements. This Jain temple is a huge marble masterpiece situated on a hill. Behind the Jain temple is a huge tree. A sage has done penance for years under this tree and has donated all his knowledge to this tree before leaving his body. What happens is that whenever a sage does penance, the sadhana, beneath a tree, when a connection is established between these two, which is similar to that a guru and a disciple, just as the Guru is freed after imparting all his treasure of knowledge to his disciple. Similarly, the Guru was freed of the inner knowledge, impairing it to the tree. Moksha is not a state of attainment, rather, it is a state of detaching oneself of everything. Similarly, such a sage had freed himself by imparting all his knowledge to this tree. A lamp is regularly lighted beneath this tree. Many snakes are residing in this tree, and it is considered auspicious by a Jain if they were ever to see a snake there. That day, many snakes had come out of the tree and had assembled on a small temple situated near it, and had stayed there for long. In the entire premises of Jain temple, the area around the tree appeared the most consciousness rich region. It appeared that some sage must have given the fruits of his years of penance to this tree, and then, because of the strong energy of the tree, the development of the entire pilgrimage point must have taken place. A peaceful place was created for meditation. Mostly, the ascetics and sages select a peaceful place for penance, and they do penance for many years by sitting under a tree. And during the last phase of their life, they depart after giving all their inner knowledge to the tree. And later, this tree itself must have turned into a university, which would give inspiration and knowledge to many seekers of meditation. Actually, the entire Jain religion is based on meditation, and this place must have been searched by a Jain Muni. And now, this place is known by the name of temple or any such name. The energy of this tree had filled the entire premises of temple with consciousness. At that time, I met a group of Jain Munis who had once attended a shivir at Jogeshwar Jain residence. They were going back to Mumbai after traveling through Maharashtra and halfway at the place for penance. When I met them, I could recognize them. Generally, it is very rare to meet the same group of Jain Munis or Sadhvis after a workshop because they are mostly traveling on feet, and there is a limit of traveling by feet, and it is rarity that I am residing in their area of commutation. They were also very happy to meet me. We even had a collective meditation there. This is a huge premises and has a big lodging and catering facility. But nobody knows that because of the consciousness of a tree, such a huge premises has been developed. That is why I felt that it is not a tree, rather, it is a university in itself, in which disciples are practicing penance, the sadhana, since years. And because of this place is situated in a jungle far from Mumbai Nasik highway, therefore it is free from pollution and noise. And it is beautiful natural place for meditation in the midst of jungle. Even the hills of this region add to its beauty. Because of that huge tree, I would always remember this Jain pilgrimage region throughout my life. I came across a similar kind of a tree in Gujarat Samarpan Ashram at Gandhinagar. A sage had practiced sadhana under this tree and had given the fruits of its penance to this tree before leaving his body. It is located at the Anodia village of Mahudi region in Gandhinagar. Here there is a huge Jain temple which is known as Ghantakarna. This tree too gives energy to the entire area in its proximity. Many trees in its proximity are being affected by the energy of this sacred tree. Such trees are like universities, which keeps on preparing disciples for futures. Though the common man has no knowledge of consciousness, still they too would feel happy after looking at this tree. If one sits for a little while under it, one feels immensely peaceful. And if one sits then, one doesn't feel like getting up until the medium who has knowledge of that energy comes. Till then, the forces of energy from such huge trees doesn't start. Once a medium of Paramatma who has the knowledge of energy of these trees arrives and starts receiving it, then the flow of consciousness pours from these trees. And this consciousness helps in developing the nearby region. This is similar to the source of water which lies deep within the ground. Now, until and unless someone who has the knowledge of this source of water arrives and informs the society, only then a well is made out there. And this well quenches the thirst of thousands of people. Likewise, trees firstly grow, develop, and then, after growing fully, they start giving fruits. Similarly, the Siddha Atma first receives spiritual knowledge, then develops it, and later realizes that in order to achieve moksha, one has to detach oneself from the spiritual knowledge also. And then they start sharing that knowledge with others. And if they are unable to find a worthy disciple for imparting the spiritual knowledge, then they give that knowledge to that place itself with this pledge that worthy seekers shall come and receive the knowledge from this place. For this, they purify the place of their penance and establish the energy in the idol of their own Lord. Through Sankalp Shakti, the pure pledge and later leaves the body. Last year, we had been to the Run of Kutch for meditation. The Run of Kutch has no settlement around, and therefore there are no thoughts in this place. It is covered with salt, and salt has distinct qualities. It doesn't permit the negative energy or negative thoughts. Due to this, the salt desert of Run is appropriate place for meditation. Take it this way, that the Dharoda in Kutch is the Himalaya of Kutch. Secondly, there are plains for miles. That means there are no pit holes, ditches, or thorns. You may walk with closed eyes for miles, as nothing grows there. Therefore, there are no shrubs or weeds. This run is made out of the solidification of the salt from the seawater, which collects during rainy season. Once the water evaporates, a thick layer of the salt is formed, and due to this reason, there is salt for miles and miles. And it is a must watch scene on full moon as the salt glitters under the light of the moon, and one feels as if we are moving on the surface of the moon itself. In order to experience this elated moment, people usually come to this place on the day of full moon. Just imagine that you are on a plain, bright white land which has absolute silence and also white salt around. It has no plants, no trees, no shrubs or grasses or animals. And wherever you see, you may find only glittery white salt. This place in Dharoda of Kutch is such an exotic place. And here one gets an opportunity to fully spread one's aura, due to which I prefer coming here. Because it is difficult to find such an empty space in society. For developing one's aura, one needs only such a vacant place where there are no humans for miles. Such a vacant place is important because if there would be human, then he would think, and thinking is the flaw of a human. There are no thoughts in nature. That is why the Siddhatma, the enlightened ones, intentionally choose such a vacant place in Himalayas where there are no humans for miles and there are no thoughts around. And after selecting such a place, they make these places as their sadhana sali, abode of penance. And later, they even wish that nobody should come in their aura. And then they do penance at such places. It is impossible to find such place in society. That is why I definitely go to such a place for spending some time. After going to such vacant place in Run of Kutch, the aura spreads for miles. And when the aura gets space to spread, then seven different layers of energy are formed around my body. And this happens naturally within few minutes. And a peaceful state of meditation is automatically achieved because there is absolute silence for miles and nobody can cross these seven layers and approach me without my permission. And by practicing this, the body is rejuvenated and revived and receives a new life energy. During the recent Mahashivar, lakhs of people, due to a massive publicity, via more than 50 TV channels and YouTube channels covering it. And I had premonition of this huge collectivity way before. That is why I had decided to visit Run of Kutch for isolation. And I keep on telling that there is an aura and there are seven layers of the aura. The Himalayan sages and ascetics stay in isolation by developing their aura. It is not so that I say for the sake of saying, rather, these are my experiences. But sadhaks have no such experience, due to which they are not able to comprehend this thing. For the sake of making the sadhak's experience the presence of the aura and its seven layers, I had taken two families of sadhaks along with myself to the run of Kutch, and one evening I had made them experience the aura. That evening, before the sunset, we had visited the salt desert at Run of Kutch. We were in two cars and had parked the cars alongside. Later, we had switched on the lights of the cars and we entered the desert on foot. After moving a little further, all were seated on a mat and were asked to keep their phones and bags aside. Then I told them that they should remain on this place till the sunset is over and there is darkness. After that, they must get up and move in a line towards me. And you should come forward in such a manner that there is nobody between you and me. And you should move with open palms towards me. Now, when I will go deep inside the run, then my aura would automatically develop. And then I will make a pure wish that you all should come near me. And if I will not have this pure wish, then you would not be able to come near me and shall lose the pathways in the darkness. And when you would start moving towards me, then you would experience at least 7 times that somebody is preventing you from moving forward. Despite feeling this unknown force, you must continue to move towards me. And remember that you are all seated right now. Exactly behind this place is our cars. The lights of the cars are on, and I am also moving inside the run in the same direction of the light. And if you do move in the same direction, only then you would be able to see me meditating. But remember, you have to move straight. You have to keep a track of your direction and also of the light of the cars as you have to move in the direction of the light. The land is absolutely plain and there are no ditches, no stones, or any aberrations in between. The only danger is of losing the track. So kindly move in collectivity and barefooted because only then Mother Earth would be able to help you in this rare experience. After saying all this, I went deep inside the run. And then, after having seated at one place, I went into meditation. After meditating there, I had an experience that the place of Kutch have the knowledge about only one temple, that is Mata Ka Mar. But in the same direction of the temple, there are three more temples which are contemporary and are of a source of good energy. But people doesn't have the knowledge of him. At one point of time, some enlightened souls had done penance at these locations, and all these four places are connected with each other. And during their lifetime, they had considered their abode of sadhana as one. They had established different idols of goddesses and transferred their energy into these idols. By doing so, they were able to detach oneself from the inner knowledge and inner powers during their lifetime. And even today, all these energy points are situated in one direction at Kutch, but people are aware of only one such place. The other three locations need to be searched. That day, the other three places were sensed. After having stayed in a meditative state for a while, the aura had found vacant space for developing, due to which it had spread in a huge area. There was a pin drop silence all around. The moonlight was visible because sunset had occurred long back, and these disciples were also about to move towards me. Then I had a wish that all these disciples should be able to move towards me by crossing the seven layers of the energy. And then I continued to remain seated at my place. I was also experiencing the development of the seven protective layers of the aura, and the one which was closest to my body was the strongest, and the other six layers were growing lighter. And as soon as the disciples entered the seventh of the outermost layer, then I decided to keep my attention on them so that they won't lose their path and would reach safely towards me because it was easier to lose the pathway during night. I could feel as soon as the disciples crossed the second layer. The sensation was in the form of slight jerk. It felt as if my body has extended for miles, and as soon as the disciples started moving closer, then their speed reduced because the powerful energy zone was deeply influencing them. Later, that it was difficult to move even a step further because they were also in a trance like state. It is very difficult in such a state to have a control over body and move forward. Even then, they felt a slight jerk like that of a breeze while crossing each layer of the aura. This force was preventing them from moving forward and it was pushing them behind. This was also part of a cleansing process of the disciples. As soon as they were being cleansed, they could move forward in this experiment. There was a pure wish that they should be cleansed. They had taken a lot of time in order to cross their last three stages. Till they reached near me, it was already night. When I asked them how was their experience, then nobody was in such a state to reply. And then I had asked them to be seated as they had covered such a large distance. We were seated for a little while in the darkness. Now the question was how to return back. I told them that the land is plain, there are no pitches or stones in between. We have to keep a track of fixed direction and then proceed forward. At the far off road, the cars are parked and their lights are on. We have to fix that point as our goal and then move forward to that direction. The light of the car will help us in returning back. We just have to keep a track of the light and move forward. While we were returning back, we saw that there are no traffic, but the other vehicle which were coming in high speed suddenly slowed down as they entered the aura. This was so because as soon as the vehicle entered the aura, the driver of the vehicle felt good, due to which he became absolutely relaxed and the speed of the vehicle reduced. This was a common phenomenon and almost all vehicles did it, and we were enjoying this spectacle while returning back. After walking for some time, we reached that spot where we had kept the mat, our mobile phones, shoes, and bags. This spot was located exactly between our cars and its light. Then later we had worn the shoes and checked if we had not left anything behind. Nobody was in a state to talk and we were walking in a meditative state. Then we reached our lodging place quite late at the night, due to which the manager was also tensed. He was wondering that the sunset had long back taken place. Why haven't we returned? He feared that we had forgotten the path in the desert of Ran. Later, we explained to him that we are urban dwellers, due to which we hardly see such a beautiful place, and when we had got a chance to meditate in such a peaceful place, we enjoyed meditating there. As it was late night and quite cold, therefore we had a campfire and enjoyed sharing our experiences. Each had their own unique experience, and it was a new experience for all of them. I felt that it was predestined that who would have this unique experience. Some blessed souls had a chance, and that is why they were present at that moment. The manager used to stay with us almost regularly, but that day he was not with us. It means maybe his time had not arrived yet. The experience which I had during meditation was important. Therefore, I had asked for a map of the Kutch region and started searching for the temple of Mata Ka Mad. Then I started tracing for those three pilgrimage points in that same direction of the sacred temple. It was found that the temple of the goddess of Rudrani was located near a dam in the same direction. Further, the temple of goddess of Kechi was also in the same direction. And further, the temple of goddess of Mumai was situated in 18 kilometers away from a village of Mumai. The location of all these four holy points on the same line hints into the fact that they are situated on some sacred area. That is why they were all situated on a single line. This special line or direction must have been chosen by the enlightened soul, the Siddha Atma, on the basis of their spiritual knowledge, and that is why they must have chosen these four places for their penance. And during the last phase of their lives, they must have established their spiritual knowledge at these places. But out of these four places, only one place is the Mata Kamar, which is known to common man. And this region too must have been identified by some medium of Paramatma who had opened the doors of consciousness of this place for the commoners. But the other three places have not been reached. These three locations have a storehouse of consciousness, but this consciousness will only be ignited once the medium of Paramatma reaches this place, receives it, and opens the door of the consciousness for others. This is just like there is a diamond mine and there is no information of this mine. Then, what is the importance of its existence? All this is pre-decided that which medium of Paramatma would reach this place, and in order to help him reach this place, which body will be made a medium. Who would be the medium? Then, who would come? All this is pre-decided. This situation was pre-decided, and time was also fixed. I have just been a medium for this moment. In near future, you would see that these three places would develop quickly. Through these three locations were not known to the places to the people up till now, but its information would reach the masses soon. These places would be known by their consciousness. If we see it this way, then it is understood that there are four sacred points which are located in the same direction in Kutch. That means all the 4 points are the four pilgrimage centers of the goddesses, and it was the pure wish of the goddesses to reveal this information to the commoners. And due to this, in the salt desert of Run, the goddess has given such an experience during meditation. All these places were the abode of sadhana, of the enlightened ones, and it was their pure wish to share the antarmukhi energies through the idols of these goddesses with the society at this time. Due to this reason, this incident has taken place. This is my belief. You must all take advantage of this consciousness of these four pilgrimage points and have your own experience. Lots and lots of blessings to you all. Your own Baba Swami.